Hi, my name is Mike Rutkowski, estate planning and elder law attorney here at the Rutkowski Law Firm. What are you doing in here?
Hey Dad, you're in my chair.
In your chair? I'm not giving up my chair.
Welcome to the Rutkowski Law Firm.
Hello and welcome back to Life Lessons with the Rutkowski Law Firm. Today we're going to talk about how to fund your trust using cryptocurrency. And today I have our trustee advisor, Mike Rutkowski, law attorney. Mike, welcome back.
Thanks for having me, as always.
As always. All right, let's get into it. Cryptocurrency.
Okay.
It's a thing.
Yeah, it is. It clearly is. There's lots happening. Maybe 10 years ago, we thought this would just be a thing that kind of went away, but it's a thing. It's a thing. And so the question that we're getting asked all the time as people are going through the estate planning process and they have some cryptocurrency, like, how do I tie this all to my trust to make sure that in the event I pass away, that someone can have access to it, right? That's always like the big question when it comes to all assets, whether we're talking about retirement accounts, your house, bank accounts. We got to make sure that everything has a plan so that in the event something happens to you, whether you're incapacitated or pass away, someone has access to these assets that it can go to who you want it to. So now we've got this digital currency called cryptocurrency. Comes in all kinds of forms, and I'm not going to sit here and say that I'm an expert in all the different varieties of cryptocurrency, but here are the conversations that I have had, which I want to just share with you. As I've being an estate planner, I typically connect with wealth advisors or people in the industry to figure this out. And so recently I had a great conversation with a concierge, they call themselves, of Bitcoin. Bitcoin is probably one of the largest cryptocurrencies out there that most people are familiar with. So I can walk you through what we discussed in our conversation of how we're going to tie this all to an estate plan. The interesting thing with cryptocurrency is there's typically these things called keys. I don't know exactly what that means, but that's not important here. What's important is this is how someone's going to have access to the cryptocurrency asset. So with Bitcoin, they have a 3-level, call it a multi-factor, where there's going to be 3 keys. One key is going to be held by the individual who buys the cryptocurrency. Another key is going to be held by the company that manages the cryptocurrency for you. And then that final key, we got to figure out what we're going to do with that, because anyone with 2 out of the 3 keys can access the assets. The unfortunate part of crypto is we can't just retitle it into the name of the trust. It's not going to happen. No one allows it to be done. So what we got to figure out is, how do we make sure that this goes to who we want it to go to in the event we pass away, right? Like with anything, we typically map out a plan. We say our retirement account is going to be split between our kids or spouse first or whatever it is. But with the cryptocurrency, we do that through their key system. And whether that's a system where they have 2 keys or they have 3 keys, who holds those keys is going to be the determining factor of where these assets go when I pass away. You following me still?
So in a trust, does this go in a trust? Like it's just a will in your will?
Yeah. So here's my recommendation as an estate planner is going to be that we lay out, whether in a will or a trust, who's going to get this asset. But at this point in time, so February of 2025, that is not legally binding. To me, it's still worth putting in that direction, though, of like where you want it to go. In the event this does all come full circle with U.S. laws and estate planning. But what that will do, here's what we agreed to with Bitcoin at least, is that what that's going to do is it's going to give the trustee direction of what you want to happen. Because also probably an important thing to do is to give the other key, that 3rd key, to who you're appointing as successor trustee, because they're going to be handling everything else. So if that successor trustee holds the 3rd key, that could be kind of how we're going to figure this all out. The trust or the will is going to say what you want to happen to it. It's up to the trustee to follow that. But between the successor trustee and the company, they will have access to the asset.
If there's 3 keys, does that mean that the trustee who has one of the keys needs to contact another person with a second key to be able to actually access it? Or as long as you have one key, you can get into it?
No, you got to have 2 out of the 3. So in a 3-key system, you got to have 2 out of the 3. In a 2-key system, you have to have both keys. So you better not lose one of them. What we've been told is that a lot of people are engraving these into steel plates as like helpful that you don't just lose the key. Keep it with your estate plan. So typically you get a binder. So if you have cryptocurrency, you can keep that engraved steel plate or whatever you're going to use to identify the key. Keep that in your estate planning binder would be a safe place to put it. But yeah, 2 out of 3. So your successor trustee plus the company, that could give them the access to then give it to who you want it to go to. The unfortunate part at this point in time, you're just literally telling the successor trustee to give this cryptocurrency to my kids or whatever you want to happen. Right. It's like a handshake agreement. Like, I hope he actually does it, but if he wants to just keep it all, he can keep it all too. So I think there's a lot of upside right now with crypto, and I'm, again, not the person to speak to that, but there's also some inherent risk in it too. And those are the things that we're just going to have to be mindful of as we're kind of transitioning into this digital currency space. And as we navigate the changes in that, I mean, that's just where it sits today.
Well, thank you so much, Michael. I appreciate your insight of how you're the wild, wild west of cryptocurrency and navigating it. If you would like to understand more of how your cryptocurrency can go into your estate plan to ensure that that third key or a second key gets to a trustee, please give us a call. We'd be happy to help. If you are having this experience and maybe you've done this before and you have a way forward, we'd love to hear how you're making sure that if something happens to you, your cryptocurrency continues down the line of where it needs to go. Share in the comments. Thank you all so much. Thank you, Michael. If you would like to contact us, their phone number is below. Please give us a call. We'd be happy to help.